And I think anybody who wants to explore healing, this is a good thing. I mean, this is a good place to start, because there's a lot of ways to find healing.
Yes.
But this, I think, would be a good place for most people to start, because if you don't, it's kind of like learning a job or learning how to walk as a baby. Yeah. You don't know until you don't know what you don't know.
Yep.
And if you don't know it, you can't say that it won't work or it won't help if you don't know what you don't know. And clearly I didn't know what I didn't know, because I had no idea what I'd see or what I'd feel.
Or experience.
And what I saw, felt, and experienced here today was more than I would have ever imagined, because and that's what I would challenge anybody who watches this to say, if you think you don't believe, come try it. And if they try it and it doesn't work, then okay, we're all crazy and whatever.
Yeah.
But I would say, I mean, I don't think there's anybody that wouldn't benefit from it.
Cool.
Okay, my name's Carrie Barker, and I just saw Nicole today for the first time for what is this?
Shamanic Shadows Healing.
The Shamanic Shadows Healing, and I don't know how to describe what I went through, other than I think probably for everybody it's a little different, but it was intense at times. It was healing. I can tell that. I can feel that even. Like, as soon as I woke up, I could feel that. And I just think that, I'm sure I have more to learn. I want to definitely do it again, because I'm sure there will be other things that I see and that come through. But for people that are maybe, a little bit cynical or not so sure, trust me, I didn't think anything was going to happen. And there was a whole lot of things that happened that I couldn't have predicted. So...
Yeah. And so you're glad you had this experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad. Well, my sensations, like I was saying when I just woke up, is I had a lot of colors, I didn't see any particular thing except these colors. Mm-hmm. And I saw a lot of light, different lights and different colors, and I felt different sensations. So I felt really warm, I felt really light, I felt emotional. I felt really emotional. And that, and again, I cry all the time, so I can't say that that's not a norm for me, but the emotions, I wasn't controlling my emotions, so that was really weird, because I was crying, and I don't know why, so
the tears came out.
The tears came out, and I had no control, no control. I don't know what even drudged up the feeling to cry.
Yeah.
Other than it just happened.
Removing the blockage of repression.
Right. And it happened. And then I was like, wow. And like I said, it didn't feel like I was crying. It almost felt like drops of water.
Yeah.
From like an angel or somebody above me. Because they were, you know how for crocodile, or the way people say crocodile tears? Well, it felt like I didn't have crocodile tears. I had angel tears. They were big. Yeah. And it felt like, almost like little rivers, mm-hmm. But it was, but it was a lot, and I was like, wow. I remember feeling like but I didn't know why I couldn't control them coming out. So
Yeah.
it was these weird rivers of, and it felt like someone was dropping them on me. I know that no one was dropping anything on me, so that's not what happened.
No, I know exactly how you feel with that, because I recently, and I want to actually do a video about it, had an ayahuasca experience as a vision quest, and part of what I ended up purging was sadness. And so a lot of time I was just crying, and it felt like these tears weren't even mine. It was like these light, feathery tears that just kept dripping down, and I'm like, I can't stop, and I could almost see the tears dripping in front of my eyes.
Well, that's what that's what I was feeling, was like the river, and I was like, but why does it keep crying? And it just kept crying, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna cry, I guess, because
it needs to
it needed to come out. It needed to come out of me, but it was really weird. And then, well, and I think when I first started was I heard my dad, and I didn't see him, I could hear him though, and all I could hear was, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
And how did that feel to you to hear that?
It was hard. It was hard to hear, because like I was telling you, I know we had repaired a lot of what had been broken between us, but he never verbalized. So to hear it verbally was, I guess, what started the flood river of the tears, was because I could hear him. I heard his voice. I didn't see anything, but I heard him.
Heard him, yeah.
And that's all he could say was, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I was, and of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, I kept wanting to embrace him. Now, whether I did or I didn't, I don't know. But that was kind of what I was thinking while all that was happening was, now just give me a hug and it'll be okay. But you don't have to touch like that. So I'm sure maybe we were hugging, and I just couldn't. It wasn't a sensation that I physically felt, but it could have happened. I mean, I don't know. I just know that I cried, and then I was crying some more, and I don't know why. But
what about the out of body experience? What would you describe that as?
Well, I don't. Other than like I would be present here with you, sort of in that present way that you are. But I hear your voice. I hear you talking. And then, like, you'd still be talking, but whatever you were saying, I wasn't. It was like I was above it. But I wasn't looking back at us. I was like off in La La Land, over there somewhere, doing something. Because that's the way I am in life anyway. If I see something, I just go do it.
Yeah.
And so at moments, I think I was just gone. I was doing something somewhere else when you were saying things and doing things, but I wasn't there. I was playing somewhere else. I don't know what I was doing, but I wasn't. And then I'd come back, and then I'd hear you talking, and then I'd do work, and then we'd do garden or something, and then I'd disappear again, like with Mother Earth. I just disappeared. I felt enveloped, and then I was gone. I was here on the table, but my body, my mind or something was
consciousness,
another place, because I wasn't here. I was, again, like I said, I almost at one point I imagined that I was looking out of like a pouch. Yeah. Is kind of how it felt.
Yeah.
And I was covered all but this little part of me, and I could look out, but I was completely enveloped in that color pouch.
And how did that feel to you?
Felt good. Felt really safe. Really, really safe.
Yeah.
And really, like, I didn't have to, I wasn't worried about anything. I mean, I'm a worrier, so I worry about everything. So I had no worry. I had no stress. It was just like I was floating, and it was kind of like I was kind of like in a bubble, and I was just floating, and I was just looking out. And
now you also came in with some back pain, and you said you've been suffering with that for how long?
Since 2006.
And you said it limited you a lot.
Yeah, it's taken my job. It's taken it's taken everything I've ever known. So, and that's, right now I feel great. My back, knock on something, my back is not hurting. I don't feel any pain. And so, yeah, I mean, that.
And you said it popped.
as soon as I kind of came, I was waking up, and I just kind of did my shoulders like this, and it popped right away, and I was like, okay, that felt really good. And then I'm sitting up, and it's not hurting. I'm not in any pain.
Cool.
So whatever that did something nice too. But especially, I don't know. Like I said, the orbs and the lights and the wild colors were very strange, very, very strange. Yeah. And like you said, everybody has their own experience, but all I saw was color, lots of color, bright colors.
But you did have something you explained before we did this video with the inner child.
Holding I guess for everybody that's going to watch this. So the way I see it, the way it first felt was like, for anybody that's ever held a baby, they don't know what to do with their head, so they bob, and and that was the first feeling I had, was I was holding this little tiny baby, my inner child, and it was doing this with its head because it couldn't keep its head up. And then as it kind of went along, it was like the baby almost grew, but the baby grew to about, not too big, because it was holding the child. Yeah. So, and it was like a 3 or 4 year old, and I just kind of was
version of you.
Yeah, and then it just laid its head on my chest, and it just was calm and relaxed, and it was almost like it was like the biggest hug you've ever felt from me, but it didn't feel like me, but I know it was me, but it was, and its little arms were wrapped around me, and I had a hold of the baby, and then it grew up. It was like it grew up instantaneously in my arms, but I think it was the level of love, because as an infant, you can't give that kind of love, but I could feel that warm and that cuddly feeling that babies have, and then it was like, by the time I realized, in the next flash I had, it was holding like a little child, and then getting hugged and feeling warm, and this little head laying on my chest and on my heart was like, that's what felt really good.
Yeah. So
it was kind of wild. That was weird too, because if that's me, it was a nice, very nice feeling to feel that much love and to be hugged that tight. Because that's all I remember, was how tight the hug was. I was like, wow,
she's
gonna
got a
squeeze
grip.
me to death. But that kid had a hold of me, and I was like, God,
she didn't want to let go.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to let go. It was a good feeling. So
wonderful.
Yeah, it was really good.
And then forgiveness.
Forgiveness. So yeah, I think I've grimaced even. I don't know what I was doing. I could feel like I felt angry, because you said bring everybody into this little room, and I didn't want to bring anybody into my room.
All the people that you had the hardest feelings towards.
I was mad. I was mad at all of them. I didn't want any of them. I mean, my dad was one of them. I mean, I couldn't name them. If you had asked me what are all their names, I don't know. But there was it was like a half a classroom full of people. And we were talking, I was pointing my finger at them like this and shaming them. And I felt my forehead like crinkle up, even though I don't know if that's what I was doing at all, but that's what I felt like I thought I was doing. Yeah. Because I was scolding them all. Yeah. And then you said you have to forgive them, and then I think I cried again, because I did. I forgave them, but it was like it was painful, obviously, if I cried, because it was releasing. Yeah. I think maybe because I cried, and then I didn't feel anything, and then I told them all, I forgive you, and it's okay. And so after that, I felt okay again. Then I was like everything, and then we went to Mother Earth, and then I was happy and safe and secure and enveloped and all. I think I don't know what we did, but it was wild.
And overall, you feel now?
I feel rejuvenated. Okay. In a weird kind of way. I don't know how else to describe it. I feel relaxed. That's probably number one. That I feel rejuvenated too. I feel like I tore down some walls maybe of things that have been bugging me, and it'll take. I know that there's no miracle in any one thing, but that maybe a couple of times of this type of thing, I might truly be able to get past some barriers that have been in my way for a long time.
And do you think this will help improve some of your relationships?
Oh yeah. I mean, just what you know with my other half. I mean, I think it'll be beneficial for the two of us, no matter what. Just to, even if it's only being able to verbalize and then with intend to change the behaviors that have kind of set in. And if we both do that, then we can start working towards a better connection. Because this will help facilitate that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. I mean, I don't know. This was interesting though, to say the least. And for anybody that isn't sure, just do it once. And if it's not for you, you'll know. But if it is, you'll. I mean, I can't imagine any one person not feeling something doing this.
Yeah.
Whether it's a breakdown of tough emotion or
a
physical thing or both, but it certainly helped me. That's why I'm saying I would challenge anybody who thinks that it wouldn't work or can't help or they're too big or too manly or too whatever or too religious or what. I would just challenge all of those people, try it and then see what you say, because
then see what you believe.
Yeah, see what you believe, because you don't know. There's no way to know until you lay on this table and you experience it to know what you truly think you know or what you don't know.
Yeah.
That's all I mean, that's the biggest thing. So
cool.
That's my I challenge anybody who doesn't believe to come try it.
Cool. So, thank you.
You're welcome.